Okay, guys, for today's Tratitude, do I take you down dark places? Of course, yes, we've got to keep it the dark content. We are in New York, just down the road from glamorous Seneca Lake. Isn't it glamorous? Isn't it amazing? I don't know. This restaurant is doing no business, and I can tell you why. This is the problem with Upstate. It's a great place in some ways, and it's got some problems. One of them, you can watch the YouTubes of the town board meetings. I like to speak out about the dump that doesn't belong here. Yeah, because a lot of things before the dump came to upstate New York, which I believe was 1958, and it was deemed a hazmat site, but now they think it's a great place to add so much garbage that it's going to be taller than the Statue of Liberty. I kid you not. Yes, that's what we have in Upstate. But I'm not at the dump because I'd have to have a mask. Like, oh, you can't stand it. That's how you know the difference between, this is their idea of, apparently this used to be drug treatment and an insane asylum. So we're not at the dump. The dump would smell and I'd be having a mask. So we're at Willard Asylum. Unmasked. Unmasking the darkness that is. Oh, you can't even go in. I was gonna say, oh, it looks, oh, hey kitties, you wanna swing out? Good God, no unauthorized persons? I thought this was like a park experience where you could actually walk. It says the Willard Department of something garden project. I'm projecting it's not doing a good job. And if this is how they treat drug addicts, or they treated them, I understand it's closed. Yeah, it looks worse than the prison. So, I mean, if you had to do drug treatment there, probably when you got out, you did drugs. But I was going to take you into the insane asylum. Well, let's see if we can walk across there without being too, obvious. Like, what the hell is she doing walking into this? It's really cool. Well, I think it's really cool. It's falling down, of course. But I will take you further out because this was opened in 1869 by some idiot named Willard, some sergeant who decided, throw away the people you don't want and put them all in Upstate. It's probably like to be a piece of trash in the dump rather than be at this place. But I understand they did kind of everything under the sun. Yeah, that's why you want your shades on. Yeah, I mean, they did like the dark stuff. They didn't just do the line them up. Apparently they lined people up. Sounds like how the dog was really executed. My rescue dog, who I love, Gigi, she's passed. But they would line people up there in this place. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Yes. Ugh. And they would do just one after the other of shock treatments. And then along in the 1950s, I understand, but then, hey, why waste the electricity, right? They got Thorazine and just stuffed them into the Thorazine. So, how much fun is that? Oh, God damn, I want to go to this place. But you can't go to this place because just people walking around in their pajamas. Like the inmates escaped the asylum. No, those are actual residents. So if the residents walk around in their pajamas, there's garbage. How do you know it's not working? That signs it's not working. There, the recyclables are there, and the building that would be really fun to urbats is ungettable into. I thought it was like a park experience. I saw people walking through it the other day. Maybe we just go down this way. But look at these buildings. They are apparently, well, not the collapsing ones, but the other ones. They're like the fun things to do in Upstate. Of course, they are closed, except for Halloween. You can make money off this on Airbnb like 365 days a year as an experience. Yeah, people pay money for that. I'd pay good money for that. For a bad, dark experience. Hell yeah. Yeah, but I saw people walking. They were part of the Escape the Garden project. But you walk down to the lake, and then there's the place where they buried the inmates. And this place, I traced this history when I first moved here. I found it really interesting because I thought this old historic mansion owned by the Gould Punt people, which is sort of an upstate version of like the Rockefeller kind of thing. And when they didn't like a relative, this be where they ended up. Yeah, if you don't like your relative, put the relative right here. That's a New York trick for you. They do it in California too. I know this because it wasn't done to myself. No, my great uncle Rico was, the family didn't want to take care of him. The family that had enough money that, Uncle Rico had come over on a boat, worked in the fields, so everyone else could then come over. And then what does his narcissist sister do? My grandmother, apparently, she wrote this in a book, but I burn bad books. My grandmother's book is burned. But yeah, my grandmother should be in a place like that because she took my great uncle Rico, set him up, told him like catfished him basically, and the police were waiting for him, and they just put him in a nut house for I think this was like right after World War II. So they put him in Napa State. So you've got to thank Ronald Reagan for one thing. And then Ronald Reagan freed the inmates from this kind of nonsense with the Baker laws. Oh, yes. So, I don't know. California has more, you can't just stuff people away. California like you can here or could here. No, the Baker laws are like pretty strong, and you can only hold something like 48 hours and bon voyage, and most of the time it's like, you're lucky if it's 48 minutes. California, it's too expensive. They don't want to take care of you, so they don't. But in the day when this happened to my Uncle Rico, no, they kept him there till like whenever Ronald Reagan got elected. So when was he governor? I believe in the 1960s, right around the time that, don't tell anyone this, but legally there's been an insurrection in California. The Black Panthers took over the state capitol legally with guns using the Second Amendment. Oh, yes. Ronald Reagan did not like that. The headlines, I was 3, but later I did read them. They were hysterical. It's like, armed Negroes take Capitol. So he did. So while Ronald Reagan didn't appreciate gun-toting, beret-wearing, Black Panther self-defending people, he liberated the insane people and made them homeless. Yes, because a lot of those people have crappy families. Dun, 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 dun. That is the truth about insane asylums. Yes, if you have a really, really crappy family, and I do. So I had a really, really crappy grandma, Elda. Duh! Don't put your brother in an insane asylum because you're a lazy biatch and you don't want to take care of him. The family should take care of him. Huh. But no. Good thing Uncle Rico wasn't here. He wouldn't have survived out of winter. It gets very cold here. Yeah, this gets snowed upon. why I thought we were Herb Xing, so I like came prepared like for an Herb X, and you can't even get in, and you want to see the dang place. But they put it like, yeah, like I said, the inmates have all, you don't know the town members that were inmates, they're wearing pajamas. Um, so we look weird. I guess I look normal. No, I look strange because I'm not in my pajamas walking around. So there is a memorial for all the lost souls that died in nameless graves. It's the Willard Cemetery. And I'm going to take you up there because when I first moved here, I just thought, I want to see this place. Because this asylum has a huge, you can feel it right now, it's got dark energy. And so if you had to live through this place, yeah, I guess the family was probably so ashamed they didn't claim your grave. We've been to the Nameless Grave Cemetery in Lettreth, which is right outside of New York City, and you could tell who cared about the family members in the Lettreth Asylum cemeteries because they came back and gave them headstones, and most of the headstones there outside of New York City of the families that were good families to claim their dead loved ones, they have stars of David on them. Yes, they were just on line. I'm not saying that all Christians are bad, but there's some shame stuff to it. And yeah, I guess if you did this to your relative, you should be relatively ashamed. But, you know, it'd be nice to give the person a grave. We'll see how it works out when I take you down to the cemetery. I was going to try and bring you inside this place, but this would have to be like an after dark activity. Hey, look, well, the church. Now, we could masquerade like we're going to church. There you are. There's a church. And then while everyone's praying, we'll just sneak on out. Oh, hell yeah. There's a good cover story. I was going to church. I found Jesus. He wandered over here. Actually, I think Jesus would probably be over here ministering to these types. Instead, in church praying about something when he could be an activist. Am I saying Jesus was an activist? Yeah, I guess he sort of was. Being raised Catholic, and my grandma just kind of left that out of the equation. Just said, "Don't let that get between you and God." It was easy for me to marry someone Jewish, and then my friends that were Jewish just said, "Jesus is just a rebel rabbi." So I like that. Jesus as the rebel rabbi. There's a place for you to do some rabbiing. Be an activist. Yeah. I don't think Jesus would fence up drug addicts either and put them in punish them like prisoners. Yeah. But so goes. If we find a way in, you'll see, because I intend to get in there. It's so easy. You want to just walk across, but of course this is a town with nothing going on, but probably people peering out the window wondering what the hell is someone walking along the edges of the place doing. And the garden project we already determined is defunct. So we'll hit you up on the cemetery and finish out the roller nutty thing. So whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, have your trad shoot. Let's hope this uploads correctly. This is my new camera, folks. Woohoo! Have your gratitude and travel with attitude. Before I take you all the way down into the cemetery, just to show you how nutty New York is, I'm like, oh, maybe you can walk here. It looks like a park. And then look at it. It's all boarded up. And then you look and it says Children's Center. Anybody that put their child here, they shouldn't have a child, I think. Yeah, I'm thinking that if you need to put your kid here, there's something wrong with you. We'll put you there. But I don't know where you can walk in this place. Oh, it's got a recycling center. Something we don't use in New York enough of. But maybe I can walk it. Well, we'll find out. And I understand there's tunnels. That looks like a likely place. Steam tunnels that run under here. Now, again, would be no unauthorized things. Notice, proceeding beyond this point, you are entering a secure area. Dun, 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 dun. You're entering a secure area? I already feel insecure. This place is freaky, man. No trespassing. Really? This is a secure area? I guess maybe it's secure if you want to go boating on Seneca Lake. Let's see. People, vehicles, property are subject to search. Wow. Search my vehicle. While you're there, could you clean it up, give it a mop, clean? You know, I like green forest smells when you're done with it. Oh, DOCC's canines are used for this purpose. I don't even see a single dog here, so if there's dogs running around sniffing out people, dog, you ain't doing your job. Okay, God, this is getting crazier and crazier, and we haven't even got to the cemetery. So I will take you on to the cemetery, and then we will finish out our gratitude.